Allah said, "I have prepared for my righteous slaves such excellent things as no eye has ever seen, nor an ear has ever heard, nor a human heart can ever think of." This is a hadith that was reported by our beloved Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jannah, what is Jannah? For starters, Jannah is the Arabic term for the word paradise. But why is heaven described as paradise? What is there for it to be called by such a word with beautiful connotations to it? What do you think of when you hear the word paradise? It's some food for thought for you during this video. However, after watching the video, you should have more clarity on the beauty that awaits the righteous servants of Allah. The Quran speaks about how everyone will have whatever they desire for. Think about what you're desiring for right now. Imagine if you attained what you dream about now. It would drastically change your life. Well, guess what? That is attainable in Allah's paradise. Whatever you are thinking of, money, beauty, anything you can think of, it awaits for you in Jannah. Achieving such level to be worthy of Jannah is like a job. You work now and you achieve your salary when the time is up. In other words, when you die, your payment is Jannah. Allah is essentially giving us the dream job. We work for our whole life, and Allah will give us a payment that will be beyond what we can imagine. Jannah has 8 gates. These gates are wide open, and you will enter from the one you deserve to enter from, and some people will be qualified to enter from any door they wish. May Allah make us amongst the ones who are able to enter any door they wish to. But one thing you must know, there is no difference. And what I mean by that is, no matter what door you enter from, you will not want to leave. That is how beautiful Jannah is. In the Quran, Allah tells us, there they will have whatever they wish for, forever. That is a promise to be sought after, binding on your Lord. Whatever the souls will desires you will have. You will reach a level of satisfaction that you never thought you could ever obtain, and that is the reward of our beloved Lord. However, we do know some details of how life will be in this beautiful paradise of Allah. For example, we know we will be resurrected, we know we will be very tall, and that we will all be brought up to the age of 33. Those who have passed away beyond the age of puberty will be brought up to the age of 33. So even if you died at 18 or 50 or 90, you will be brought up to the age of 33. It's beyond our imagination. Everything will be eye candy to us. Have you ever went out to buy food when you are hungry and suddenly everything looks tasty? Even the things you don't like or usually eat suddenly makes your stomach rumble. You go to buy some groceries and suddenly your basket is full of things that you know don't usually eat. That's the same with Jannah. Everything will be pleasing to the eye. Your eyes will be darting all over the place at the beauty of paradise. The more you look, the more you crave, and the more you crave in Jannah, the more you will be satisfied. In this temporary life, have you ever noticed you crave things, but you are still never satisfied? Or the other way round, you crave something so much, but when you fulfill your desire, you realize how empty and short that feeling really is? That is the problem with this life. The life of this world is no more than the delusion of enjoyment. However, in Jannah it is the complete opposite. Your desires will be satisfied, and even if you desire many things, your satisfaction is endless, and you will not have that empty feeling like you do in this life. Allah has done that for a reason. Allah has made the pleasures of this life temporary on purpose, so we do not attach our hearts to this life. We are simply travelers in this world, and we will all be forgotten about in 100 years from now. That might make you sad, however. It should open your eyes and make you realize how this life is worth nothing, and we should all strive for the next. Anything that comes to our mind that we want is given to us in an instant. Even your own spouse, for example, they will be changing as per the sweetness of your eye. This may sound ridiculous, but that is Jannah. It's something we cannot comprehend. Anything is attainable, as everything is possible in the paradise of our Lord. You may wonder why Allah does not give us a taste of Jannah, or why Allah has made our minds not able to comprehend the paradise that awaits us. But do you know why that is the case? It's because if we all physically and mentally knew, saw and understood Jannah and what it contains, we would never sin. Allah loves sinners, do you know why? Because they ask for His forgiveness, and Allah loves those who forgive. In an authentic hadith, the Prophet said, "By Him in whose hand is my life, if you were not to commit sin, Allah would sweep you out of existence, and He would replace you by those people who would commit sin and seek forgiveness from Allah, and He would have pardoned them." This hadith itself answers the question of why Allah does not allow us to see or fully comprehend Jannah, because like I already mentioned, we would never sin. Allah does not want perfect human beings, rather He wants His creation to know that He is always there for them. As long as you call out to Him, He will be there for you. Remember, my brothers and sisters, Jannah is not attained by good deeds, how much you donate, how much you fast. No. These do indeed help, however. It is not the sole purpose why someone would enter Jannah. What makes us worthy of Jannah is Allah's mercy. We are in need of Allah's mercy, as that is the only way to allow us into His paradise. You can be the biggest sinner on this earth, but if you have an ounce of Allah's mercy, it would be enough to get you into Jannah by the will of Allah. And you can be the best Muslim, who memorized the whole Quran, who donates and fasts all the time. But you may have done something very small, if your life, but in the eyes of Allah, that small thing to you was very big to Him, and you no longer have His mercy. And when you do not have the mercy of Allah, you will not enter His kingdom. And that is the reality. So how do we attain Allah's mercy? By turning to Him, by seeking forgiveness, and by constantly striving to be better. Many of us make dua for worldly things, such as a better income or for a righteous spouse, which is indeed okay to ask for. However, we should ensure we always make the dua of asking for His mercy, because His mercy is worth more than we can imagine. Allah has promised those who are God-conscious in private and in open. There are 4 fundamentals for the person who wants to enter paradise. Number 1, to strive hard in worship. Number 2, pardon others who have wronged you. Number 3, to restrain your anger. And number 4, to abstain from the haram. Did you know that the word dislike or ugly does not exist in Jannah? You will never feel displeased. This does not exist in Allah's paradise. The houses of paradise are described to be made of bricks of gold and silver, but not the gold and silver you and I know. The quality of gold, silver, or any sort of this kind in Jannah will be something we have never seen before. And do you know why? Because this is the reward of our Lord for striving in this life, after the period of the test, which lasts on average 60 to 70 years. So ask yourself, brothers and sisters, are you ready to bear patience for this beautiful gift? With Allah is the best of rewards. So far I've mentioned what Jannah is, how it's something we cannot understand, and we cannot enter without Allah's mercy, as well as some characteristics we will have. But do you know the journey to Jannah? What do you think happens when we first make our way to Jannah? Allow me to explain. At the doors of Jannah, and the door is opened, the angels who are standing to welcome the people, what do you think they say? The first thing they say is salam, which means peace. This is what we're all yearning for. We're yearning for the everlasting comfort of peace in our heart and for the rest of our life physically, in our feelings, in our ears, and with what we see. You come to the doors of Jannah, and you don't enter straight away, because guess who has to open the door? He is Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Only Allah knows the perfect description of this door. It's a beautiful door that is huge and wide, because that is how Allah's doors to Jannah are, just like His generosity, which is immense. The first one to knock on it is Muhammad, and the guardian behind the door, the angel, asks, "Who is it?" And he says with all humbleness, "I am Muhammad." And the angel replies, saying, "It is you who I have been commanded to not open the door to anyone but you." and the door of Jannah is opened. He is the privileged one. May Allah make us part of the first group that enters with the Prophet. As you come to the doors of Jannah, there is a waiting area filled with those who are waiting to enter paradise. Around you will be people filled with beautiful bright faces, filled with light, and everyone will be boasting about their book filled with good deeds, but no one will be jealous of each other. Jealousy is something that will be removed from our souls in Jannah. There is no hatred, no envy, nothing of the sort. Everyone is happy for each other. The entrance to Jannah begins your name, and you will be called out one by one. As you enter into Jannah, you get lost in the beauty of what you hear, what you see, and who you meet. And everybody runs off to their own palaces. You may wonder, how do we even know where we are going or where our houses in Jannah are? But Allah puts that inside of us. We will become automatically familiar with Jannah, just as you are familiar with your own home and area. And we are certain of this, as in an authentic hadith, the Prophet tells us, any one of the believers will be more familiar with his dwelling in paradise than he was with his house in this world. How amazing will that feel? We are overwhelmed while we wait to be called into Jannah, but yet as soon as we step foot on its land, we will run into the distance towards our home like we lived there our whole lives. We will finally feel home, as that is the eternal home our Lord has planned and made for us to reside in eternally. But we must earn such blessing and reward. And to end this video, raise your hands, brothers and sisters, and make dua with me. O Allah, I ask you for paradise, and I seek refuge in you from the fire. Our Lord, grant us the best of this life and the best of the hereafter, and protect us from the punishment of the fire. Our Lord, and grant us what you promised us through your messengers, and do not disgrace us on the day of resurrection. Indeed, you do not fail in your promise. O Allah, by your knowledge of the unseen and by your power over all creation, let me live if you know that life is good for me, and let me die if you know that death is good for me. O Allah, I ask you to grant me fear of you in private and in public. I ask you for the ability to speak a word of truth in times of contentment and anger. I ask you for moderation in wealth and in poverty. I ask you for blessings never ceasing, and the coolness of my eye, i.e. pleasure, that never ends. I ask you for your pleasure after your judgment, and I ask you for a life of coolness after death. I ask you for the delight of gazing upon your face and the joy of meeting you without any harm and misleading trials befalling me. O Allah, dress us with the beauty of faith and make us guides who are upon correct guidance. AMEEN.